2 years ago, I did a video on cybersecurity trends for 2023. Then last year, I did another one for 2024. Well, let's dust off the crystal ball and take a look and see what I'm seeing for 2025 and beyond.
So hello guys, welcome to this session. We joined the I am in the group. So that's a container so that we communicate forward from development, security, so again, ensuring security in the software development cycle. So it's for developers, and then the developer, and then like developers, and then security, even product managers, and like product manager, and just like just a community who are interested in everything to it. The entire process of creating software from ideation to scratch. So with me is Emmanuel, so Emmanuel, welcome. And again, you can go ahead and start the introduction.
Good evening. My name is Emmanuel Madanga, as you've been told. Zinc Ambassador Kenya and founder Beyond Data ICT. So Zinc is a data science community in Africa. So we usually have a number of events, hackathons, and challenges according to African programs. And then for Beyond Data ICT, we offer consultancy and trainings in data science, machine learning, and AI. So for today's session, we'll be discussing on how we can leverage on the potential of AI, data science, and machine learning in security analysis. And so first, we'll start with just objective, what we aim to achieve in this today's session. So we start by understanding how AI enhances cybersecurity. What are the capabilities or efforts that can we leverage on in AI for cybersecurity space? And this will lead us on how we can use AI to analyze vast amount of data to understand patterns that can help us identify or recognize or be aware of any cyber threats. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. So maybe to start with, where can we leverage on for AI in cybersecurity? So first, AI in cybersecurity involves using artificial intelligence to detect, analyze, and respond to cyber threats faster and more accurately than the traditional ways of cybersecurity or traditional ways of identifying vulnerabilities for security. And so in this case, we are going to talk about one, threat detection. How can we leverage an AI to detect threats? Second is on automated response. You see, there is detecting threats, and then there is an action you need to take. And so how can we leverage on AI in helping us being able to automate the process of responding to threats? Some threats require urgent responses that you don't have to be awake 24/7 for you to wait for the threats and take action. and then how we can leverage on the predictive analytics to be able to know how often can this kind of threats be able to occur, and this leverages a large amount of data. And so from this, the context and the importance, maybe we start with the cybersecurity landscape as it's evolving rapidly. So we'll be able to see kind of a video on how we can leverage on how what's the trend of AI in cybersecurity space and the cybersecurity landscape in general. And then there is also an increasing sophistication of attacks. Remember, as we are leveraging on AI to be able to do some security threat analytics, there are also hackers that are leveraging on AI to build sophisticated threats. And so there is a two-way thing that we need to discuss here. And then now we'll be talking about why traditional methods are no longer enough. Elaine, you will wait for your system to be able to detect, for example, if you have maybe, let's say, maybe something like an antivirus, you are waiting for it to tell you that there is a threat, or you wait until you see maybe your laptop is hanging is when you realize. So how can you be able to not stop? That one is not enough as per se, because we have some other threats that are vulnerable to even very sensitive information that when they are altered, when the data is altered, then it triggers, it can put down the entire organization. And there is need for intelligent and adaptive systems. So let's start by looking at the cybersecurity threat landscape. So I would like us to maybe have a look together about this few video on the landscape of AI and cybersecurity threats. Is it the audio? I can't hear. So as we look to fix the audio, so first you'll see that from this kind of landscape in 2024, where this guy had some prediction on how the trend of moving from passwords, having password, for example, for your emails, for your computers, people are now moving from passwords to passkeys. So, and he's saying one out of the three out of maybe let's take out of three, at least one they are moving to the passkeys. And then from there, he's also discussing about AI and phishing, and then also the issues of deepfake, where people tend to fake some information, especially in the financial sector, and be able to conduct some transactions as per se. And then
for 2023. Then last year, crystal ball and take a look and see what I'm seeing for 2025. What I predicted last year and see if it came true or not. That way you can decide whether you want to believe this YouTube prophet or not. So how did I do on last year's predictions? The first one was about
legitimate sounding fishing. In fact, these things
we can use
looking at fishing by looking at just the structure of the image. Nowadays, again, now comes with another response. So that's how it's is
what does that convert to? 545 kilometers. What is that pace in miles if someone is running it? You know what it said? It said it was a 3:43, which, congratulations to her. She would have literally broken the world record by more than 10 seconds if that had been the case. It wasn't true. I went to the chat box. That's not a world record. That's respectable, not a world record. So all I do
And they're going to be wondering, how can I use cybersecurity technologies to make sure those deployments can't be attacked, that they're robust? That has in fact turned out to be the number one question I get when I'm out meeting with clients. This is the reason, for the most part, they're bringing me in to have conversations. I talk about a lot of other things, but this is the number one concern for all the clients I've seen virtually in the last year. How am I going to secure my AI deployment? Now, I think there's also this other part which I made a prediction about, and we're seeing this happen also. And that is, how can we use AI to do a better job of cybersecurity? Well, one of the things is we could use this to create essentially an online Q&A type chatbot. So in other words, if we had a chatbot that didn't hallucinate, that was grounded in the facts, and we could do that with something like retrieval augmented generation, RAG technology, and things like that, it could do a better job of answering questions for a cybersecurity analyst. Just go in and ask it questions in natural language and get responses back. We're starting to see that technology make its way to the market. And another one is cases, being able to look at incidents and things like that and be able to track them, look at all the indicators of compromise, and give a summarized version of a particular case. Because one of the things that generative AI is good at is generating summaries as well. And those summaries can be helpful when you need to pass off an incident or a case to someone else who now is going to pick up the ball and run with it. So overall, I think we did pretty good. Okay, enough of living in the past, old man. Let's get rid of those. And now we're going to take a look at 2025 and beyond. I don't know exactly which year all of these things will happen, so we're just looking toward the future in general. And even though they say history repeats itself, actually Mark Twain said it doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So we're going to see some of the same trends that we saw before that will continue, maybe in a little bit different form. And not surprisingly, AI is going to be a big part of everything that happens in technology, and cybersecurity is no different in that regard. We're going to see it give us some pluses and some minuses, some pros and cons, some things where it'll help us and some things where it won't help us. I'm going to start with some of the things where it necessarily will not be helping us. And that's, first of all, a prediction about shadow AI. That is, this stuff is so good and everyone's going to want to do it and everyone is going to do it. And not all of those AI deployments will in fact be authorized. They'll be the ones that are approved by the organization. So we could have, for instance, in some places, that somebody goes into a cloud instance, pulls down a model, and still starts running away. And that shadow AI could present a problem for the organization. Other examples on mobile phones. So people are using AI phone operating systems, and we're going to see more and more of that. If that's not handled well, it could be a source of data leakage. It could be a source of misinformation. So that's this kind of sort of unapproved shadow AI is going to represent a particular problem for us, and I expect to see that grow as we go into the future. What else? Deepfakes. I mentioned that one before, and that one's not going away. In fact, deepfake technology is only going to be getting better. And there are going to be implications to business. I gave an example of that where an organization was basically swindled out of or convinced to send $25 million. There was another case a few years ago where $35 million was sent as a result of a deepfake call, just an audio call, and someone followed those instructions. So it's going to affect business. It's going to affect governments. As someone puts out a deepfake of a head of state or something like that, then if we don't have reliable sources for that, people are going to see those messages, and some portion of the people will believe.
Now it's growing.
Presentation. Yeah. Continue presentation.
All right. It's growing.
Okay.
To several aspects of cybersecurity. One is threat intelligence. So AI can continuously monitor network and learns from previous attack patterns. That's why you say we can leverage the potential of predictive analytics to be able to know how often are we likely to experience a particular kind of a threat from vast amount of data that is analyzed. And so when we talk about AI, especially the advanced AI like neural network technologies, uh, they help a lot in terms of understanding patterns, deep, complex patterns in data. And also the technology of transformers also help, especially for the generative AI and large language models, as per se. Anomaly detection, for example, in the financial field or financial sector, how can the bank be able to realize that this kind of a transaction is not normal, is away from the way our clients usually handle transactions? And maybe if that's not the case, maybe for example, in terms of requests, for example, even let's go to some aspects like, for example, email addresses or even your social media account. There's a lot of requests that are being made to access your account. You'll get an automated alert to either your phone, maybe if your phone is directly connected, uh, or your email that there is an activity, or if it's not. So that's how we can leverage on anomaly detection. That's for detecting suspicious activities that deviate from the normal. If it is for the financial sector, if that is not put into consideration, then we are likely to experience a very large loss. For example, for financial aspects, same as to data privacy. When you're handling, even in healthcare, for patients' data, this data needs to be protected. And if there is any kind of anomalies in terms of the way things going out of the normal, then we need to get uh, some alerts. And that's what now, after getting alerts, what next? Now that calls to action for an incident response. So once you have to be able to automate some kind of response with a balance in the human perspective. Because sometimes AI also might might mislead you and maybe block if, for example, if the client is the real client trying to access his account and is blocked and denied access to something that he's looking for, then it requires some kind of human intervention. So there is that AI human intervention. Some other things you can leave AI to do automated response, like incident response, and some other aspects requires human intervention to actually validate the scenario. And that's why we come to the incident response. So in incident response, we can get automatically, AI can automatically trigger a response, such as isolating infected systems. So it can block some part if it's a distributed system. It can block some other parts of the system that seem to be vulnerable to attack. And then from there, the remaining parts can continue running as you continue now sorting out the other part of the system. Same as blocking IP addresses that might seem to be deviating from the normal activities, and then notifying security team so that the human now part can be able to take part in this. Automated risk assessment, this is what I've been talking about evaluating vulnerabilities in network and systems, and then recommending an action that can be able to mitigate the challenge. And then, okay, and then AI for threat detection and prevention. Now, AI threat detection uses technology like machine learning models and algorithms to continuously analyze data for potential threats. And even when an incident occurs, for example, let's say an attack, with the use of AI, uses that data to learn so that it can be better and better every day. The security can be better and better. And then some impacts that we can able to leverage on is proactive threat detection. When you leverage on the AI aspects, you will be proactive. So there is a way that you can automate, as we have seen in the previous slide, you can automate from detecting some anomaly behaviors and then taking an incident response. So there is a proactive threat detection and then real-time alert that can help the security team to overcome the problem. And so now we are going to, in the era, maybe before AI, how was the scenario before AI? So before AI, malware detection is primarily signature-based, which means it only identifies non-malwares. If these threats are not known, then it will not be able to detect. So this makes it less effective against zero-day attacks or new malwares that are not yet, new malware variants that are not known as yet. So it was only possible to identify the ones that are known. The that are not known, they had capability of bypassing the security mechanisms. And then now with the AI, now the AI tools are used to even understand the behavioral analysis, just looking at the behavior of your events to detect new and known malwares by identifying patterns of abnormal activities in the system behavior, rather than relying on the traditional signatures that were there before. And so, to summarize this, some impact is more comprehensive threat detection that includes novel malware and then also faster identification and response to security incidents. So this improves the security incidents. And then some security AI for networking. Again, we have discussed about this matter, and so I will not be able to take much time on it. As we have seen deepfake, where companies are even losing billions of money from the deepfake. So let's look at maybe a use case of AI for phishing detection. So problem, traditional spam filters and phishing detection systems often struggle to detect new phishing tactics, and which are increasingly sophisticated. Again, remember, as we say, they are trying to use AI to build cybersecurity solutions. But again, the attackers are also using the AI to build sophisticated problems that now might seem to be hard to differentiate from legitimate. For example, if this email, you will not look at the email and know that this email is not from maybe Lenin. You will not know because it's just the same. It's not traditional way where we usually indicate. When you look at email, you know that this is not a legit email. And then from there, but with AI tools, AI tools analyze emails, URLs, and attachments for suspicious content and patterns, and flagging potential phishing attempts that may bypass the traditional defenses. Yeah. And now the impact is improved detection of phishing emails and reduces the likelihood of successful phishing attacks. And then the role of AI in cybersecurity automation, as we have talked about one, incident response automation, where whenever we have maybe, for example, anomaly instances being detected, then we have an immediate incident response automation. Vulnerability scanning, systems in place to be able to detect any kind of security anomalies and be able to raise that. What is the impact of this? We have increased efficiency and faster response time. So whenever there is any threat to your network or anything, there is automated alert. Once you get alert, is an incident response. And then this increases efficiency and faster response time. And this allows security team now to focus on high-level strategy tasks rather than routine tasks like sitting there to wait for an attack to happen. So you focus on other things, as AI also work with AI closely. Because sometimes your client might experience a problem of maybe access to, maybe denial of access or access denied. And then now your client panics. Like, I now don't have access to my account or my system. What should I do? So this helps us to get away of such scenarios. Challenges and risks of using AI in cybersecurity. So while AI is significant in enhancing cybersecurity, as I've been mentioning also, people are leveraging on AI to develop sophisticated attacks. And so, again, another challenge when it comes to AI, remember AI reads also from vast amount of data, learns from vast amount of data. And if the data is biased, then AI, just imagine that you get a notification that there's someone who is trying to access your bank account. And let's say that that is an AI automated and it's wrong. What will you feel? You're feeling like you're losing your bank account. You feel like you should withdraw that money right now so that you can sleep with it in your house. Yeah. So, biasness in AI models needs to be tackled. Data privacy is a concern, as data that is being used to train AI does not need to be that personal data that exposes someone's data's privacy. Again, there's so much now dependence on AI. We should not totally depend on AI for everything, as we need compatibility between AI and human. As we say, you need that incident response and also anomaly detection, but we need humans to, the security team, to verify that this is actually real, is legit, that is an attack. So over dependence on AI puts everything at risk. Considering the emerging technologies, also like the Internet of Things, there is a lot of interconnected devices that put us at risk from connecting our devices, even up to things like our we have now automated cars. Everything, you can lock your door and you are here, you lock your house, you can put your lights off. So suppose someone hijacks and now your house is not open. So where will you sleep? So this one is like, we need a precaution to that. So what are kind of best practices of using AI in cybersecurity? One, we need continuous training and updates. Best practices for using AI in cybersecurity, continuous training and updates. We need always learn as AI learns from. So whenever an attack happens, AI learns from that and it updates itself. That's how we also need to be like. So regularly update AI models with new data to enhance the way it can be able to detect the latest threats and adapt to the new attack strategies. Because strategies also keeps on changing every time. We need human oversight, as I said. Over relying on AI is also not true. We need human oversight. Where AI can automate many tasks, human experts should still oversee the AI's decision so that we don't put everything, especially in the complex or high stakes situation. And then also, whenever we are sourcing for data, the data sources need to be diverse and representative of the entire data set. So that whenever we train our AI models on the diverse and unbiased data sets, this now will be able to reduce the risk of false positive. False positive is a case where I was telling you that, for example, you receive an alert that there's someone who is trying to access your bank account, but in real sense, there is no one who is trying to access. So that's like a false positive or false negative as well. Those are terminologies we use in machine learning for classification problems to be able to know that this is the true threat, this is false threat, and this and such. And then now on ethical use of AI, we need to leverage on the ethical standards. Now, so some key benefits: faster detection and response to threats, improved accuracy. I've talked about improved accuracy in identifying and mitigating threats, and then also increased efficiency through automated processes, so that we minimize a lot of time focusing on other high-level things. Now, this one leads us to a conjunction between AI and human. As I said, the human element is very important. Remember, AI is not human. So how can we be able to partner with AI? And so some sector-specific examples of AI transformation. So we can cite below some examples. For example, in finance, AI can handle fraud detection and bookkeeping, but humans focusing on advisory tasks like prediction of financial matters, and also advisory on what to do. And then healthcare, AI processes can scan and conduct some lab tests, but doctors focus on the patient interaction and decision making. Remember, still AI cannot have the kind of the emotional intelligence where you need to interact with the patient, let the patient feel that you can feel the patient, but the AI feeling the patient is where we draw the line. So we need that. Some tasks need to be performed by AI, some tasks need to be performed by human. Especially when things require some kind of interaction. Your customer will feel happy when he's feeling that someone who is sending this email is a human being. It's not an automation. But in most of the business processes, right now it's automation. Whenever a customer does this, there is an automated email already sent. So someone is like, who is sitting there to send these things immediately? I take an action. Yeah, but some things they can be automated, and some things need a balance between human. And then in retail, AI can predict trends and manage stocks, but staff focuses on customer experience. That's what I was talking about. Customer experience. Customer experience is very important because as a human being, you will be able to understand the customer experience more better than the AI. And then upselling also. And then in the education, sector, AI can personalize the lessons. Maybe based on your interest. For example, you go to a learning platform, they ask you first the interest. What's your interest? And then now they recommend for you the courses that best aligns with your interest. So that's how AI can be used in education. But now teachers become facilitators and emotional uh, guidance is required. Yeah, so there's a need for uh, AI integration, as you can see this image here. There's that partnership that's required in every activity that we have. So we need to work together, not that one is working to replace the other. So we need to work together. So as we said, in terms of security nowadays, even the machines we are using, be it phones, uh, be it even laptops. Right now, our security, we are moving away from mostly passwords. Some people are using fingerprints, some people are using image recognition and face detection. Whenever your laptop sees this is you, it opens. And so that's a kind of advanced now security mechanisms that are now in place, rather than your simple password that someone can be able to crack. For example, your M-Pesa password PIN. Yeah? So someone can just guess, what is your year of birth? Then puts it. Then puts it. Someone is able to send money to his account. so such like things we need to know how we can go about. Now, I think let's have a look at again this small video and see how AI-driven incident response happens. Small video and
Why are there not more people talking about AI-driven incident
small video and small video and
Response. Welcome back to Cypher Tech Insights, your go-to podcast for all things cybersecurity and technology. I'm your host, Alex Cypher, and today we're diving into an exciting and crucial topic, AI-driven incident response. With cyber threats constantly evolving, AI is transforming how organizations detect, mitigate, and respond to security incidents. So, how does AI improve the process? How can businesses leverage it to stay ahead? Let's get into it. To start, let's quickly review traditional incident response processes. In many organizations, incident response has been heavily manual. Security teams receive alerts, triage them, investigate, and take action to mitigate or remediate the threat. Sounds straightforward, right? But here's the issue. Security analysts are often overwhelmed by the volume of alerts. Most attention can be prevent damage once a real threat is detected. Enter AI-driven incident response. AI systems help streamline and accelerate threat detection, automate responses, and even predict potential attacks. AI doesn't just support human analysts, it transforms how organizations handle cybersecurity incidents, allowing for faster, more efficient processes. Let's talk about how this works. AI, or artificial intelligence, plays several key roles in incident response. One of the biggest is threat detection. AI-powered systems can analyze network traffic, user behavior, and logs in real time to identify anomalies or suspicious activity. With machine learning, these systems can detect threats that would be difficult or time-consuming for human analysts to spot, such as subtle indicators of compromise or advanced persistent threats. Next is automation. Once a threat is detected, AI can automatically trigger a response. Instead of waiting for a human to investigate, AI can take action, like isolating a compromised machine, blocking malicious traffic, or escalating the alert with detailed information to a security team. This cuts down response time significantly, minimizing the impact of an attack. Finally, AI can be predictive. By analyzing historical data on past incidents, AI tools can forecast where and how future attacks might happen. This lets organizations be more proactive, focusing on defending the areas most at risk. Now let's talk real-world examples of AI in action. Large companies like Google and IBM are already using AI to power their incident response efforts. Google, for instance, has its Chronicle platform, which uses AI to scan vast amounts of enterprise data and look for potential threats in real time. IBM has integrated AI into its QRadar CM platform through Watson. This AI-driven approach automates investigations, reduces false positives, and provides human
The
analysts.
things that doing we are just a repetition of what we have already discussed. So because of time, let's wrap up with a few. So the role of machine learning. So the role of machine learning in the cybersecurity space, one is pattern recognition in large datasets. We use it, machine learning algorithms, in able to realize some patterns in the behavior of such as threat analytics. And then we use supervised and unsupervised learning for threat detection, and then also behavioral analysis of users. And then data pipeline in cybersecurity. So data sources, these are firewalls, IPs, and endpoints. And processes, we need the process of a way of processing the data, the ETL, and the normalization of data. Analytics, we use ML and AI models. And then action is alert and remediation. Popular ML technique used, we have decision tree and random forest. We have neural network. We have clustering, and then isolation forest for anomaly detection. So these are the popular ML techniques. Yeah, so that marks the end of our session today. And if you'd like to maybe connect, maybe we can connect, you can connect on LinkedIn or my mobile phone number there. But for those who are also interested to venture into the data science space, you can connect with me, but you can also sign up here on this platform, Zindi. You can just use this URL, bit.ly/Emmanuel Madanga, so you'll be able to sign into Zindi platform. If you want to know more about Beyond Data, what we do, you can go to Beyond Data, but you can connect with me there on LinkedIn and also my mobile phone number. Yeah, so thank you so much for this session, and maybe looking forward to next time where we'll be able to discuss more. No matter of time. Asanteni sana. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Emmanuel, for the enlightening session. So, okay, so thank you, Emmanuel, for the enlightening session. We are honored that you are able to make it today. So, thank you for joining us today. For those who are joining us physically or virtually, so it's been a pleasure hosting you. We hope to keep creating more sessions that are educational. If you'd like to be one of our speakers, we do have a call for speakers that if you'd like to be a speaker. So we do have all sorts of talks. We also have the Developer Secure Developer Podcast. Again, it's one of the podcasts you can be able to listen to. Also, the YouTube channel, DevSecond. It's a global community again, so you also get to see all other people in other places are doing other sessions by other people. So we have a variety of sessions that we organize, and thank you for joining us today. And thank you to our hosts, Red Cross team, for giving us the space and a nice environment that we are able to join us and convene today here. So thank you and see you in the next session. Bye bye.